There was once a 25-year-old man named Ethan who lived in a quiet farming town. Ethan was strong, healthy, and full of dreams. He would often tell everyone around him, "One day I'm going to own the biggest farm in this town. My fields will be filled with golden crops, people will come to me for advice, and everyone will know my name." People admired his ambition, but there was one problem. Ethan loved dreaming. He just hated working. Every morning, while the other farmers were already out in their fields before sunrise, Ethan was still asleep. When everyone else was working under the hot sun, he was sitting in the shade talking about his future. Whenever someone asked him when he was finally going to get started, he always smiled and said, "Tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. One evening, Ethan's elderly uncle stopped by to visit. He had spent his entire life farming and knew exactly what hard work looked like. As he looked across Ethan's land, he saw nothing but dry, empty soil. He turned to Ethan and quietly asked, "You've been talking about success for years, so why is your field still empty?" Ethan laughed. "Don't worry, Uncle. I'll start tomorrow. You'll see." His uncle simply smiled. He had heard those same words too many times before. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 small seeds. "These aren't ordinary seeds," he said. "The first is the seed of ambition. If you water it every day and take care of it, it will grow into a great tree that brings food, shade, and prosperity. The second is the seed of laziness. It grows on its own, fast. But once it starts growing, it fills the land with weeds until nothing else can survive. Now the choice is yours. Which seed are you going to feed?" Without hesitation, Ethan answered, "The seed of ambition." But the next morning, he woke up feeling tired. "I'll plant it tomorrow," he mumbled. One day became another became a week. Eventually, just to get it over with, Ethan planted both seeds. Then he went right back to wasting his days, sleeping, talking, dreaming, doing everything except working. Weeks later, he finally returned to his field. The sight stopped him cold. The seed of laziness had exploded across the land. Thick weeds covered everything. They had stolen the sunlight, the water, and the life from the soil. And the seed of ambition, it was barely alive. Small, weak, almost dead from neglect. Just then, his uncle walked into the field. He looked around and softly said, "Ethan, this field is your life. Ambition is fragile. It only grows when you feed it with discipline, consistency, and action. But laziness doesn't need your permission. It grows by itself. And before you realize it, it has stolen every dream you ever had." Those words hit Ethan harder than anything he'd ever heard. He dropped to his knees. He gently held the dying little plant in his hands. For the first time in his life, he understood. Dreams alone change nothing. Only action keeps them alive. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He thought about every excuse, every wasted day, every opportunity he had thrown away. Looking out the window, he whispered to himself, "If I don't change now, I'll spend the rest of my life watching my dreams disappear." The next morning, before the sun even rose, Ethan was already outside. With his bare hands, he started pulling every weed from the ground. It was exhausting. His back ached. His hands bled. But he refused to stop. Every single day, he came back. He watered the little seed. He cleared the weeds. He kept showing up. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. Slowly, that tiny seed became a strong tree. It produced fruit. It provided shade. It brought abundance. But the greatest transformation wasn't the tree. It was Ethan. The young man who once lived for tomorrow became the hardest working farmer in town. People didn't admire him because he became wealthy. They admired him because he conquered the one thing that had almost destroyed his future, his own laziness. Because the truth is simple. Laziness doesn't ruin your life overnight. It steals your future, one day at a time. And ambition, only survives when you choose to work for it every single day. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. If you'd like, you can send us your life story. If we find it interesting, we'll share it with our audience so others can hear and learn from your experience.